We are live.
What's up, Lions Nation? I am the Soul Man. That is the Stat Man, aka Doctor Strange. Had to say it.
Super strange.
Man, Stat Man, last night. We are gonna get into it for sure, but man, I don't want to. We know the big topic of the night, the big topic of the game. We know what it is, and yeah, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'd say disappointed is about the easiest way you can put it.
Dan Campbell is disappointed too. I don't know if you seen his press conference, but he was not very happy, especially with the questions he was being asked.
Well, I think he crumpled up the papers of the list of the questions he was going to be asked and the answers he's supposed to answer to him. And he said, F that.
Well, he had I think he had like a big glob of chew or some shit in his mouth, and he threw it away with the paper. He's like, fuck you. Hey, Statman, guess what? 240 subscribers since last night's show.
240. Wow, let's go, Lions Nation.
On that march to 500, sitting at 240. Thank you to the new subscribers. We really appreciate you. And Statman, just a quick reminder to everyone, what happens with all the subscribers that share our content, like our shows, so on and so forth?
If you're part of the We Are Lions Nation Facebook page, you comment on our content, you like and share our show to your friends, you are subscribed on our YouTube channel, and you comment and you're interactive during our show, you are going to be entered in for a chance to get an autographed Detroit Lions player's jersey, current player only, purchased by myself and sent directly to your doorstep.
And again, I cannot enter.
Yes, Soulman is automatically disqualified because he's already a super fan. You see all those jerseys behind him? Those are all autographed. I think he's doing pretty well.
Oh, there's some to my right, too. My whole house. Player stats. Jared Goff, 19 for 37, 271 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Montgomery had 14 carries with 65 yards, 1 touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 15 carries, 43 yards. St. Brown had 6 receptions for 90 yards, 1 touchdown. Laporta, 7 receptions for 84 yards. And Jamison Williams, 2 receptions, 69 yards. So let's talk about the offense first, starting with Jared Goff.
He threw a couple costly picks. I mean, one at the end of the game when we had quite a bit of time left. I mean, he still didn't take our chance away from winning at the end. But they're timely mistakes. We cannot make those type of mistakes. Goff on that out route where he threw it, he was trying to get it to Laporta. He threw it too low. He should have thrown it high into the outside on that type of route. That defensive back was just sitting on the route waiting for it. You just can't make those type of mistakes. And the other one was supposed to be a screen pass or a swing pass to Montgomery, and he was getting pressure, tried lobbing it out to his check down, and they were sitting there waiting to pick it off. So, I mean, you just can't turn the ball over. It just
both those were very similar interceptions too, and Yeah, I think he should have thought about it a little better, especially that first one. But at the same time, I mean, Gibbs didn't have such a great day. He had one big run that got called back. Montgomery did pretty well. I think St. Brown did good, especially in the last drive, and Laporta really came alive in the last drive too. But I don't know. I think Goff did make a couple mistakes, but overall, I don't think he played super horrible.
No, he didn't play terrible, but our defense kept us in that game. If it wasn't for our defense, we wouldn't have even had a chance at the end there. And I got to put our hats off to them first and foremost. Goff just needs to do a better job at taking care of the ball. He's had mistakes throughout the season where he's just made timely mistakes that hurt the team overall. You just can't do it. You can't turn the ball over in this league and expect to win.
It seems like, too, it's been more as of late that it's been happening for him. And we can't have that going into playoffs, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Steven Erickson in the house says, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Dad?
Now, defense. Start with tackles. Sutton had 10 tackles last night. Joseph had 6. Anzalone 5. Hutchinson 5. And sacks. Hutchinson had 3. And Melifonwu had 1 INT. Those are your top defensive performers. How about, I thought about this last night a lot. Sutton, I thought, was making mistakes. I didn't realize, I guess, that he had been making so many tackles. I didn't realize he was in on so many plays. I don't know if it's because the ball's being thrown to him like the whole game, but.
Well, it's because Dak Prescott had a number 1 target, and his name was CeeDee Lamb. And he had more receptions than the rest of the team did, all combined. Autographed jerseys, I have 0. I have a Jared Goff jersey. I have an Amon-Ra St. Brown jersey. And I have a Matthew Stafford jersey. And I also have a DeAndre Swift white jersey, thanks to Andy Soltz.
I have that jersey. How many jerseys do you have, Logan? You've been a fan since you were like 10.
Been a long time.
Mm-hmm. 10 years or something.
If I was 20.
we're going to get to – I don't want to get into Hutchinson too much because he's one of the topics for tonight. So I'm going to leave it where it's at. But how about Melifonwu and another INT? I mean, he's been stepping up big for us.
He's a ball hawk. He can also make tackles too.
Mm-hmm.
He's an all-around good player. He's been playing very good at stepping in for Tracy Walker after being benched because Tracy Walker wasn't playing very good and because of CJ Gardner-Johnson not playing.
Game stats. Total yards, the Lions had 420. Cowgirls had 384. Passing yards, Lions 295. Cowgirls 323. Rushing, the Lions had 125. The Cowgirls had 61. First downs, the Lions had 21. Cowgirls had 17. Third downs, Lions were 4 for 13. Cowgirls 7 for 14. Fourth downs, the Lions were 2 for 3. Cowgirls did not go for it on fourth down. The penalties, Lions 6 for 35. Cowgirls were 5 for 34. Lions had 2 turnovers. The Cowgirls had 2 turnovers. And time of possession, 30-36 for the Lions and 29-24 for the Cowgirls. So they did go for it. Lions did go for it on fourth down. They didn't do too bad with that. I think they definitely had some difficulty on third down for sure.
Where we struggled was stopping CeeDee Lamb, one freaking player on the Cowgirls team. That guy had over 200 yards of those passing yards.
You have to remember one of those, a big chunk of that was one play.
It was a 9-point swing just from that happening.
That play should have not happened.
No, Derek Barnes had a clean hit on Prescott, completely whiffed on him. I don't know how.
He went right by him.
He literally it looked like he was trying to shoulder check him. You can't shoulder check a quarterback that's what, 6'4", 230? You can't do that.
I didn't think he even touched him.
No, he hit him with his shoulder, his right shoulder. Like he overran him. It was insanely stupid play by Derek Barnes. It could have been a safety there. We could have gotten the ball back, and it would have been a huge momentum shift for that whole game. I'm not pinpointing one specific thing on this game why we lost, but we just didn't click all the way around to make it a game where we didn't have to depend on a ref's call to blow it for us.
That's the big story. And yes, there was a lot of things the Lions could have done to make it to where it wasn't at that point.
And I got one other point too. Everybody hating on the Lions defense. We were the first team to stop them at home from under 40 points. That team has been averaging 40 points a game at home all year. We stopped them 20. Yeah. We did as well as we could have done defensively against this team that is very high-powered offensively. People forget about Jake Ferguson and Brandon Cooks and Tony Pollard. I mean, they have weapons on offense. It's not some cheesy offense that has nobody on there as far as talent-wise. We did a great job defensively. Yeah, we allowed that huge play, that 92-yard touchdown. But other than that, it really wasn't a bad performance by our defense. We just need to get better offensively and start getting our blocking assignments down. I don't know how many times I've seen Jahmyr Gibbs get hit in the backfield because of a missed blocking assignment. Yep. Either it was Laporta or Glasgow or Jackson. All three of them accounted for a lot of missed blocking assignments that caused plays to get disrupted and us not to get a first down.
It's weird because the defense has been struggling. They step up, they start playing well against they're ready to go. And then you have the offensive line that's starting to make mistakes in that game. Like, in order for the Lions to win in the playoffs, they have to, every aspect of the game has to be in sync and ready to go. We can't have, the offensive line is going to be a little off tonight. No, like we can't have that. I think they did a pretty good job against Parsons for the most part. I don't think Dallas even had a sack.
Maybe they did.
A couple. I just didn't see it on the game stats. But the poll question was, I put in there, what caused the Lions to win in Dallas? There was 4 different choices. 96% said the call at the end. The other percent was one that I don't remember what it said, but somebody put in another option. So, hey, thank you all for participating in that poll question. But I'm not going to because it all revolves around our second topic. The first topic we want to get to, Aiden Hutchinson's 3-sack game. Statman, what do you think? We finally seen Hutchinson getting the sacks when it came down to it.
He's finally getting the reward for all of his hard work. Past games, you haven't seen the sack total, but he's disrupting plays.
Yeah.
Whether it's quarterback pressures or quarterback hits, he is causing disruption in the backfield against opposing teams. Finally, he gets the reward for it. Now he ties the total from last year's season total for 9.5 sacks. That's where he's at right now. So congrats to Hutch. Played his ass off. And he had something to say at the end of the game. He said he hoped he met Dallas again in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was something like, it doesn't matter because we'll see him again in the playoffs or something like that. And there was a lot of the players were upset, and obviously, and there you could go so many ways of why they didn't win the game, but the reason they didn't win the game, I think, has to do with what happened with the ref. and I'm saying ref because it was one referee. Okay, so you break it down. You watch the end of the game. I was super excited because they got the catch. And I literally was jumping up and down. And then all of a sudden there's a flag. So the flag happens. I take it. Okay, the game's over. I'm like, okay. I turn back around and look at the TV, and they're showing a video of Taylor Decker reporting directly in front of the referee. Until that point, I was like, well, maybe he didn't. Maybe it is what it is. Until I seen that. Blatant evidence that happened.
I got one other point to bring up on that too. Dan Skipper is the guy that they thought was the one that came in as an eligible receiver. There's no way he would have been an eligible receiver the way he was lined up on the offensive line. He was covered up by Penei Sewell on that right side of the line. That person can never be eligible in a play. Dan Campbell also brought up the point that he brought it up to the refs prior to the game starting that he had a plan or play in mind to run where Decker would be the eligible receiver. Now, I don't care what anybody says, saying that the Lions are blaming this or blaming the refs, whatever. Brad Allen, if I see you in the streets, I'm going to kick your ass, dude. Screw you, man. You screwed us out of the number 1 seed. Roger Goodell should step in, overturn that, and give us the win. Bottom line, he has the power to do it. There's a rule in the NFL, rule number 17, that allows the commissioner to overturn games if the game was decided off of one bad reffing mistake. And it was the ref's mistake. He did not listen to Decker when he was sitting there talking to him right in his face. And the reason why there was 3 offensive linemen around the ref was to disguise it from the defensive team so they didn't know which offensive lineman would report as eligible. But only one player talked to the ref, Brad Allen, and that was Taylor Decker. He's the only person.
He doesn't even have to talk. From what I heard, all he has to do is like that, and then that tells him, hey, I'm reporting.
Well, he walked up, did the chest rub, and he said, report.
Yep. And that ref ran away so fast. It was like he just ignored him. Really. He took off, and he went over to the defense and said the wrong person was reporting, I believe, and then called a penalty. And our game was over. Now, Statman, I want to ask you this because it's something I've seen brought up. Let's say the Lions get that 2-point conversion. That game was not over.
23 seconds left.
There would have still been time.
And Dallas would have had 2 timeouts at that point.
And they would have needed a field goal to win it.
I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility. I'm not saying that at all. But the way our
that people are bringing up, okay, so we got the 2 points, but that doesn't mean that they should reverse it and give us the win. But I feel like there should have been something that they could have done.
The chances of them winning with 23 seconds would have been less than a 10% chance.
I agree, but it was the possibility was still there. And then you go back to they didn't get it, so they try again. They didn't get it, another penalty. Then they got to try again and didn't get it. So if you look past the penalty, the Lions had 3 opportunities, one that was not called with a penalty. That was just a poorly thrown ball by Jared Goff, I believe, that could have been caught and we could have got it then, but they didn't. I don't know if that comes back to the fact that they were just flabbergasted by the call, but they had another opportunity to get it and they didn't.
Bottom line, the Lions won that game. And the refs screwed us again in Dallas. 10 years ago, it happened in 2014 in the playoffs where Hitchens, their linebacker, interfered with Brandon Pettigrew on a catch that would have been an automatic first down, but turned into a 4th and 1 where we had to punt. And that switched the momentum of the game like that. This is just getting out of hand. I think at the end of games like that, in those situations, that if there's a call that is controversial, it should be able to be reviewed by the officials in New York or wherever their headquarters are and say one way or another. And they should have a recording device on the referees to hear what they're saying or hear what the players are saying. Because I guarantee if Taylor Decker was mic'd up, you would have heard him say, report.
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that
1000%.
Decker said that. I know he did. Everybody else said he did. That was a blatant mistake. If it was, I feel like he just completely ignored him. And that cost the Lions possibly the win and the number 1 seed out the door because of that one call. Now, I in regards to your question on the topic, I don't think that calls like that should be able to determine the outcome of a game like that. And not just the Lions, any game. We've seen it too many times where these good games come down to a call like that.
Look at the Seattle game, Detroit-Seattle, where Bobby Wagner batted the ball out of the back of the end zone on the fumble by Calvin Johnson. I know everybody remembers that. Or the no catch in Chicago with Calvin Johnson where he had it in his hands, goes to his knees, goes to get up from the ground, and then sets the ball down, and it's not a touchdown. Costs us the game. There's been several calls against specifically the Detroit Lions over the years that have cost us games, and it's getting old. It's getting tiresome. I'm tired of watching these games where the referees control the outcome. It's honestly disappointing to the fact that NFL is a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar company, and they should put a better product on the field when it comes to referees.
But what can they do? What would be in your opinion? What would be the procedure for that?
Hold refs accountable.
A special team at the end of the game that's like, wait a minute, let us take a look at this. Is that like? Because
I think they should have a review booth only at the end of games where it's fourth quarter, under a minute left, and there's a controversial call, or this special team of refs think there's a controversial call. They can review it to the best of their abilities and figure out what the right call will be. Look at the Rams and Saints in the playoffs. Was it 2 years ago where that Rams player definitely pass interfered the receiver for the Saints, literally knocked him off his feet, and there was no call made. You know what I mean? Something like that. That needs to be implemented some way or another. I don't even care if it extends the game 15 minutes. Do it. When there's this much on the line, with the Lions being able to fight for the number 1 seed, it needs to be brought to the commissioner's attention or the NFL as a group, as team owners, and voted on.
Yeah, because you could have took the time, looked at it, and then we could have got back to playing again. And the Lions could have very possibly won that game. But instead, it ended like it did. And I am disappointed because they did get another shot at it. And I think Goff kind of didn't really hit his throw like he should have. But
we got 2 more shots. The first one was an offsides on Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had another one where it was a failed fucking horrible pass by Goff, threw it low into the ground when he should have thrown it up, and he should have listened, and he would have caught James Mitchell in stride. He could have reached across the goal line.
Yep. Victor's in the house. There's a bunch of what ifs,
but the bottom line is refs should not be in control of game decisions at the end of games like that, and screw a team and they're not.
You're frozen.
That's how I feel.
You froze.
That's how I feel. They shouldn't be able to just stop game on a bullshit like that.
No, I agree. Topic 3: does this loss hurt or help the Lions going into the playoffs? Now, I'm interested in this one because this was nope. We lost Statman. So now I'm not going any farther because this was his topic. He is going to answer this. Victor says it was a close game, but we should have just went to OT. I thought so too, but Dan Campbell said in that was the plan all along. When they got the ball on that drive, that's what they were going to do. They were going to run down, score, and if they scored, they were going to go for 2. And that's what he had it in his mindset. I don't disagree with it. They're already in the playoffs. Why not go for the win?
And can I answer that other topic?
I'm going to jump back to it after this comment. Amy says it's been bad for decades with referees. Yes, it has. Are you talking about this topic, number 3?
Yes.
Yeah, so you said, does it hurt or help? I'm curious as to how it helps.
It helps. I think it gives us a chip on the shoulder. After
That's
that horrible determination by the referees, I think it's time to throw it in the NFL's face and prove that we're the best team on the field. And we do have the best team in the NFC side of the playoffs right now. Give us Stafford and the Rams. We're going to destroy them little pansies. Screw every team in the NFC. We're taking them all down. We're going to the Super Bowl. And this is going to be the reason why.
You're not the only one. I don't know if anybody's seen what Michael Strahan had to say, but he pretty much said the same thing, that the Lions need to take this loss and they're going to take it into the next game and they are going to just whoop some ass because of how pissed out they are.
Look out, Vikings.
The only thing it hurts,
your asses kicked this time.
is the number 1 seed. That's the only thing it hurt. But other than that, we're still in the playoffs. The lowest we're going to get is the number 3 seed. I mean, you can't overall, the year has been good. We still got we're still playing.
All I gotta say is Minnesota, you better watch out because you're gonna get your asses kicked in this next game. I'm just letting you know.
It's true. We're gonna fucking take it out on them. Poor Minnesota. Oh man.
Minnesota, purple people eaters, you're going down. You're gonna be eating some fists and some kneecaps.
It's very interesting. I seen today that if the Packers win, they can make it in. They still can make it in the playoffs. I think if they're playing Minnesota tonight. I'm just saying it'd be weird if somehow we ended up playing them somehow in the playoffs. I think we'd beat them, but
I don't know if you've seen too. The Eagles lost again to the Cardinals. They're not as tough of a team as people think they are.
Nope, they have their flaws like everyone. We did do, if you look at that game, we ran the ball and it was working against Dallas, just like we said it would, because they are not very good at stopping the run. And we stopped their run just like we said we would, pretty much.
CeeDee Lamb is their only offense.
Victor says it doesn't help us, but it don't really hurt us either, in my opinion. Still at a good standing. I think they destroyed the Vikings 32-7.
You hear it. I mean, I don't even see Minnesota scoring a touchdown. I see Justin Jefferson getting hurt. Seriously.
I believe you. If the Lions take out their aggression from that game on the Minnesota Vikings next week or this coming up weekend, it's going to be bad for them.
Montgomery's going to score like 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's the only thing. They were definitely getting Gibbs in the backfield, but that was from like we said earlier, all the missed blocking from our offensive line. Gibbs is so dynamic. It's just unreal, the jukes that guy does. It just blows me away every time. He's one of those players. He gets the ball. It could be big every time.
I don't know if you've seen Hutch's jersey again, but he was being held all game again.
Oh, yeah.
No holding calls being called on him at all. But, Jahmyr Gibbs busts out a huge run. Oh, flag is holding. We're going to call somebody for holding.
Well, yeah, no, that's how it goes when you play Dallas.
No wonder they're fucking 9-0 at home because of the fact that the fucking refs favor them every goddamn game.
Yep.
Excuse my language.
If you really paid attention to Aiden Hutchinson, when he goes back, he was getting held so much. There's one where he's like pulled back like this, and they didn't call it. I'm like, what the hell? But I've seen him literally. I've seen him.
Yeah.
That he did for that last sack he got, that was fucking awesome. He was like, bam. Vic said Laporta had a few blown blocks, but Hutch had 3 sacks. Yeah, he did. He had a good game. Jason's in the house, says, guys, what's going on? I almost broke my TV last night.
Oh, trust me, I was jumping up and down. Yeah, baby, yeah. Giving Angel a high five, my fiance a high five. And then I turn around and there's yellow flags everywhere. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
I literally sent out a bunch of voice messages on Messenger like, woo! And then as soon as I did that, it was a flag. Hey, look who it is. PC Payload. What's up, buddy? He says, I'm still sick to my stomach over this nonsense. Honestly, couldn't sleep because I was on YouTube all night watching reactions. Yeah, it was horrible. PC, we got to get you on here. I hit you up on Twitter, but we got to get you on here, buddy. We're running out of season, and we got to get you back on the show. Let us know. Maybe in the playoffs. We can do a playoff show, and we'll have you on there. I watched a video. It was in a bar. And it was all Lions fans. They were fucking jumping up and down on the tables. And then they all just get real quiet. And they're looking at the TV. And then you see the flag on the TV. They were so pissed. Like, fuck. Brent's in the house said, did they throw the flag right away or did it take a while?
It took a while. Because they were celebrating for a minute. And then all of a sudden flags started getting thrown everywhere.
You thought they won. You thought it was over. Like, woohoo! And then
for all we know, it was probably Roger Goodell calling down to Brad Allen going, hey, game can't end this way. You need to say somebody else is the eligible receiver. Like, how can somebody report eligible if they're not even an eligible receiver in the play?
They screwed up. The ref screwed up bad.
And then they were trying to say that 2 people can't report as eligible, but in the NFL rule book, you can have 2 linemen report as eligible receivers. It's just absolute nonsense. They're trying to come up with stuff out of their ass because they want to cover themselves for this horrible play calling. And you know what? Fuck Brad Allen. Fuck you, buddy. You're watching this. Fuck you. Hope you eat shit.
That's why we put this show as not for children. For reasons like this. This is not normally how it goes, but
I used to be used to this kind of stuff, when we were always losing. You always get used to like falling at the end because of some bullshit call by a ref. But now that we have a fucking good team, a team that can make a real run in the playoffs, and we get fucked over by the refs in Dallas. Brad Allen?
Brett says, yep, they want us to play the Rams.
Yeah, they want the old, let's get Stafford against his former team. Give us Stafford. We're going to kill him too.
Victor says there was the same incident in a game today, but they didn't even call it.
Of course not.
Jason says, I tell you guys what, I want to hear the conversations because those refs are mic'd up. Let's get a review on that. Yeah, that's what Statman said earlier. Let's listen to the microphone from that ref. Let's listen to it.
This ref crew has had horrible missed calls throughout the season. They need to be reprimanded. They need to be some sort of accountability needs to be held on these refs when they blow these games like this. Oh, sorry, you're not going to be a referee crew in the playoffs, but guarantee watch. When we play the Rams, guess who's going to be the head referee? Brad Allen. Watch it. Watch.
He'll
Watch
have a beard. He'll have a beard.
Watch. Brad Allen is going to be the head referee of our first playoff game. Guarantee you.
The Eagles did lose, but I still think that we're out of number 1 seed contention now, right?
Yeah, 49ers won a game. So they'll have the tied record even if they lose next week, they'll have a tied record with us.
Does that mean with the Eagles losing that we still have a shot at number 2?
That's tricky. It just depends on Dallas now. Dallas would have to lose their next game and we'd have to win.
Victor says it was in the Giants game. The same thing happened, but didn't get called. The Eagles lost, and it screwed us up from getting the number 2 seed. That's what Brent said. Well, you know what? Even if it ends up that we're number 3, so be it. We're number 3. We're not going to get any worse than the number 3 seed. We're in the playoffs. We have a team that's plenty capable of battling it out and winning in the playoffs. They just got to look forward like they normally do. You know, we can't change it now. The Lions can't change it now. It's time to move forward, beat the shit out of the Vikings, and win some playoff games.
Bite the rest of these guys' kneecaps off. Just do it.
That's right. TJ Hawkinson knows what that's about.
The new Nike slogan. Bite kneecaps. Just do it.
I love it. Well, Statman, we are at that time of night. Actually, a little past it.
Yeah, adios, everyone. I know we went on a little bit of a rant there, but, you know, it's kind of hard being a Lions fan and watching the same bullshit even now.
Before we jump out of here, I want to say again, thank you to the new subscribers. 5 subscribers last night, so thank you to all of the new subscribers on that march to 500. Special shout out to a certain subscriber that I know. Thank you for subscribing. And good night, everybody. Hopefully everybody has a good night. We will see you for our pregame show. One Pride.